Sorry, Angel and Paris they were the ones who were barking, actually. Wasn't the guys?
Hmm?
And they decided to just lounge outdoors.
Oh.
Enjoying the warmth.
Well, it is nice being outside.
It's pretty
I
nice.
can relate. So, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this book because I finished this one and I watched this while I was reading this book. So I guess I listened to this, sort of ish, while I was reading this book and another book on cancer that I'll talk about soon. Anyway, so this Night Flyers season 1, I can't even. It really wasn't that enjoyable. It started out okay. It starts out near the end of the season in an exciting moment, like they like to start things now. And so there's this guy who's chasing a woman, and he has an axe. And I don't know why he has an axe on a spaceship anyway. It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, that's amazing. A little bit of an anachronism.
He sort of looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, and I think what happened is the creators of the show just pieced together a bunch of scenes that they liked from other shows that have been done in history and decided to make a show of their own using the best scenes. But it didn't make sense. Why would anybody have an axe on a ship? Why would there be an axe on a ship? It doesn't make sense. And the woman getting away, she sneaks into a room and she opens up. She's in zero gravity, so she's flying through the space, pulling herself around when she gets near a wall or a door frame or whatever, and she gets herself into this one room. And she goes over to a drawer. She opens up a drawer. For one thing, I don't understand drawers in zero gravity either, but things are staying in the drawer, and so you're having to think, okay, well, maybe they've come up with some sort of technology so that things aren't going to float. So she's pulling things out, and when she's pulling them out, they float off, right? But they're somehow able to stay perfectly still in the drawer without being
rattling around when you open it up.
So right away, you're left with a couple things that you're like, okay, so we're on a spaceship and this doesn't quite make sense, right? And so you're you don't even know if you're into the show yet, and you're, like, once you're into a show, then you'll kind of go, well, it's a horror movie, or it's a sci-fi film, and you'll let things go, right? Once they've pulled you in, but they've done that right away without even pulling you into the story or making you interested. And so right away you're left with, I'm going to have to explain a lot of the things for myself, make up fiction in my mind to go along with this. So really right away, I wasn't interested. So within the first 10 minutes, I was like, God, do I really want to sit through 7 hours, 39 minutes of this, right? So most people would probably have just pulled it out of the machine, and there we go, back to the library. But I was reading, so I sit through anything almost when I'm reading, or cooking, or whatever it's on. So, anyway. But I didn't think it was really worth the effort of trying to create your own fiction to follow it. And I couldn't quite understand what the whole purpose was of the space travel. They were supposed to make first contact, and it's kind of, I don't know, surreal or whatever. It's just, there's not enough that they've explained to me. I may as well I'm very creative on my own. I can make up my own fiction to go along with the story. I can make up my own anyway. So there's nothing to really hold me to this, is what I'm saying. I can make up my own stories and have a lot more fun that way. So, now, as I'm trying to show off my nipples almost, in this bikini, I'm not actually trying. It seems to want to do that. And so I'll have to make sure I don't lean over, or you're going to get a more interesting show than I'd intended. But anyway, James is eating kale nuggets. They're cheesy flavored nuggets, so I used the nutritional yeast to make them cheesy flavored, and I gave him some salsa as a dip. I don't know if it's going to work out for him.
Well, I actually started eating some of them.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot more kale than cheese tastes.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
put a
gonna be
lot
mixing
in there,
the-
but
I know. Anyway,
it's pretty tough to disguise the kale.
Yeah,
so is
so-
it working with the salsa, or am I going to need to bring you something else?
I'm gonna mix it all the way through in with the salsa.
Okay.
That's
So I guess the salsa might work.
no.
So anyway, grow your own herbal remedies, which I recommended very strongly in the last time we sat down to dinner. I'm going to recommend it again because it's that good. And what I forgot to mention, I'm not going to read the rest of my notes that I made about this, although they were awesome. But I am going to mention how this is laid out. So what she has done is, now I should have mentioned, she's a clinical herbalist and herbal medicine teacher with more than 2 decades of experience. She's a registered professional member of the American Herbalist Guild, and she owns and operates Wintergreen Botanicals, an herbal clinic and education center in Allenstown, New Hampshire. So really, when I pick up a book, the first thing I look at, other than the cover, is I flip back to find out about the author. Is that what you do too? Yeah.
It's been, even before I start, like you said. Right?
Yeah. So, and so I know exactly where her strong point should be when she's going through a book. But I was impressed that she is a decent gardener. Like I had mentioned about, she gives a lot of different recipes and different techniques for how to make things, and she makes it look easy. She gives a lot of pictures so that you can follow her. Like here's see her with her crock pot, and but me, the gardener, I'm most interested in how she has planned out a garden. Now maybe this was a couple weeks ago, I can't remember. I had started it months ago, that blog post, and then I got depressed and it went to the back burner for a while. It just sat there and I didn't do anything with it, and then I decided, well, I should put it out because it's a good post. So I was wanting to, it was building your own detox garden kind of thing. She does that. She does that in here. She does a lot of other gardens. So she has the flavor garden, which most of you would probably grow your herbs for flavor, right? So there's that one she sets up. Now she doesn't tell you how to garden with them, but that's okay because I already know that. But she picks out good ones for you to use because you might be interested. Stress relief garden. So stress relief, this is page 103. And then here we go. She has some pictures of them, so you know what these things look like, and then descriptions. So she does that with all sorts of, now she only gives a few different things to put in your garden, but when you're first starting out a garden, that's probably all you're interested in is, I want to do some herb garden for whatever reason. So she gives you a lot of reasons where you might want to garden for stress relief. That might be your primary focus. So she gives you a few examples and you work with that, right? So so I really like that. And so far, boob hasn't popped out of the bikini. That's awesome. So then you can find out more about those particular herbs at the back of the book, starting page 246. So, for example, she has a whole page on ashwagandha, which I don't know anything about besides, what she's written, because I've never grown this. It's
looks like
zone
a
8.
gooseberry or a golden
what's
berry.
going on there.
See how?
Yeah, you're right. It does kind of look like that. I wonder if it's related. I'll have to look into it. Anyway, but yeah, definitely get this book out of your public library. So awesome. And then you can figure out how to grow them as you go along. So what I've made here is cucumber juice. And I didn't eat my apple yesterday, so I'm eating it today. And how's the kale now that you mixed in salsa? Okay?
I'm now mixing it in with the beans, and it's okay with the beans. These
So
beans
it
are
needed
awesome.
a lot of, the beans are awesome. They're huge. This
They're
one's a
huge.
small one that I picked up.
And they're tasty. I always
Yeah,
like
they're
beans
very
like
good.
this.
So,
Some of the best beans you ever get.
Yep. So anyway, I'll finish my beans. And I already drank my juice with the turmeric and stuff. It was disgusting. And then I'm going to drink, unless James can drink as much of this cucumber as he wants. And then I will drink the rest of the cucumber juice. And that's our deck dinner for today.